Ladies and gentlemen, today is May the 31st, 2020. This is your host, Jack CryptoSon. Welcome back to my channel. Today I bring you an article from the block. But before we get into this article, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go now and click the subscribe button. And while you are there, please give this video a thumbs up. You do not want to miss future presentation. This article brings Giancarlo. Now is the time for the US to jump into the digital currency game. Here is a quick take. On Friday, the Digital Dollar Project, a high-profile partnership between Giancarlo's nonprofit Digital Dollar Foundation and consulting firm Accenture, released its first white paper. The white paper warns that if the U.S. government doesn't start thinking seriously about how to design the digital dollar, it could end up losing its ability to impose the nation's value on the financial system. The paper reiterates many of the ideals that Giancarlo and others involved in the project have already presented, albeit in more detail. It's more of a philosophical argument than a technical description, but it also illustrates how some of the most fundamental technique design questions regarding central bank digital currencies cannot really be separated from the philosophical ones. And it makes the case that now is the time for the US to be asking these questions. There's sort of a global conversation going on, ladies and gentlemen, that seems to be happening only once every several generations. That is trying to answer the question, what is money? Giancarlo states. He credits Bitcoin with starting that conversation more than a decade ago. But now the discussion accelerated. He says, thanks to the emergence of Libra, China's apparently imminent central bank digital currency, and the COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to kind of skip through the article a little bit. I advise you to go back and read this article. You have some very, very key points in here that you do not want to miss. But in March, powerful Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives seem to agree that a digital dollar is indeed needed as a way to distribute economic relief benefits, talking about the stimulus. A draft stimulus bill outlined a plan to compel the Fed to lead retail users open accounts and access their dollars via wallet software. The House bill described a system based primarily on accounts. Holding an account at the Fed would, in theory, feel a lot like having one at Wells Fargo's or Chase Bank. It would just be a public institution administering it, sort of like the Postal Service. In fact, the bill proposed using the Postal Service as a service provider in this system. Imagine ATMs run by the post office instead of a commercial bank. Giancarlo and his colleagues at the Digital Dollar Project have a different design principle in mind. However, they contend that an account-based system is not sufficient at that. In addition, the dollar must be tokenized. How? Here's how the new white paper defines the term: the act of turning an asset, good, right, or currency into a representation with properties that sophists attest to and transfer ownership. Let me repeat that. The act of turning an asset, good, right, or currency into a representation with properties that sophists to attest to and transfer ownership. The closest parallel in the physical world is a dollar bill, which is known as a bearer instrument. The white paper argues that a digital bearer instrument approach, which would take advantage of distributed ledger technology, DLT, is the best way to keep infrastructure, flexibility, and future-proof. But whether the dollar should be tokenized is the only one of the several fundamental design-related questions that must be dealt with before a system can be built. Perhaps the most vexing are about privacy. To what extent will a tokenized dollar preserve the privacy of cash? How exactly should anti-money laundering regulation be enforced, and what technology should be used to verify individuals' identities in this case? As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, please go back and read this article. I'm going to leave a description of the article in the description of this video. I thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. I see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.